Day 13, which is Monday of week 3 for our readings from the wilderness within you. Our Bible readings today come firstly from John 9, verses 26 to 30, reading from the NIV. And then they asked him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered, "I've told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too?" And then they hurled insults at him and said, "You are this fellow's disciple. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but as for this fellow, we don't even know where he comes from." The man answered, "Now that is remarkable. You don't know where he comes from, and yet he opened my eyes." Then from John 3, verses 1 to 3, NIV. Now there was a Pharisee, a man named Nicodemus, who was a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jesus at night and said, "Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who has come from God, for no one could perform the signs you are doing if God were not with him." And Jesus replied, "Very truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again." Then from Romans 12, verse 2, from the NIV. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. What you see, he remarks, is what you get. I smile, nodding, glancing across to catch his eye. "Absolutely," I affirm. "No games, no hidden agendas." We continue to stroll along the muddy path alongside the stream. Mist hangs about the old trees and dark green rhododendrons bordering the path. Every now and then, some bird flits across in front of us, hoping to attract our attention in case we have bread. We don't. I forgot to bring any. "Well," he says, "that's true, but I didn't mean just the way things are with me. I meant in the whole of life, what you see is what you get." I wrinkle my nose, puzzled. "I don't think so." I venture after a while, "There's the advertising industry, for a start, where what you see is one thing and what you get is anybody's guess. Advertising Standards Agency or not. And people are forever trying to manipulate each other, pulling strings and pressing buttons, working a situation to their own advantage, making themselves look good and the other person looks stupid or at fault. In my world, what you see is what you get is a treasure, a 1 in a million find." "Even so," he persists, "the world, your world, and everything in it will not be the same as the world someone else lives in. You think you both live in the same world, but you don't, because what you see is what you get. Go on, I say resignedly. Explain. He has a way of flashing a sideways glance at me, questioning, challenging. I am listening, I promise. Remember that homeless man we saw begging when we walked through the town last week? I nod in affirmation. Yep. Some people passing him think, there but for the grace of God go I, and toss him a coin as they wonder momentarily what went wrong in his life, how he got himself into that situation. Some people drop money onto his jacket spread out there, and it triggers rage in them that our society messes people's lives up like this, that government corruption and welfare benefit cuts and mismanaged economies could have destroyed a man's life, reduced a citizen to begging on the streets. And some people feel a surge of righteous indignation because nobody gave them a hand up. Nobody ever gave them anything. They worked to be where they are now and earned every penny of what they have, and if that man wants a slice of it, he should get up off the floor and do the same. It's just one man sitting in the subway, begging for loose change, but it might as well be 3 different ones. The world you live in depends entirely on how you see it. You stopped and exclaimed in delight at the sweet little squirrel that ran along the tree limb to greet us just now. Some people think they're just vermin. How you see things depends on your preconceptions. That's why you have to be born again, to see the kingdom of God. You have to give up your way of seeing things and realise that your vision is smudged and blurry. You have bird lime on your windscreen, and when you switch on the wipers, they just spread it around. You can't see properly. You need to let me wash it off for you, clear it all away. Preconceptions, bird lime, the way you look at things. If you let me renew your mind, if you let the inside of you be reborn and start again, you'll see things the way I do, differently. He stops for a moment and stands quite still. A small brown bird has landed on a twig barely a yard away. I watch his face, so kind and full of love. Bright-eyed, the bird cocks its head and looks right back at him, then speaks a little trill before hopping nonchalantly away along the branch. The thing is, he continues as we set off walking again, the kingdom of God is there all the time. It's all around. It's arrived. But you can say that to people until you're blue in the face and they still don't get it. Because they can't see it. And the reason they can't see it is their preconceptions are interfering with their vision. They think seeing is believing. Think they believe what they do because of the way the world is, when all along it's been the other way around. What you see is what you get.